what's up, world of college football fans and Sea Crew Sports? Thanks for tuning in. This is Nebraska. Their first game is at Cincinnati or Cincinnati at Nebraska, whatever you want to look at. They're playing where the Kansas City Chiefs play. Is it Neyland Stadium? And, look, call me crazy. I think Nebraska starts off with a loss. I think they start off with a loss and they get much better. I've been watching Nebraska for several years. This game versus Cincinnati is a high-profile, hype game. They haven't done well in those games, and it's a neutral field, so it's a loss for Nebraska. More on that later. Coming into week 2, they play Akron. Akron has beat some Big Ten teams in the past, but generally they lose. And so Nebraska gets a win after losing to Cincinnati, so they're 1-1 overall. I don't think Nebraska has any trouble beating the far lesser teams. They really struggle with mid and better in the last 10 years, no matter who was coaching them. Week number 3, we're looking at Houston Christian, whoever that is. Obviously this is a win. Nebraska's season is over by far if they lose to this team, although we have seen worse. Notre Dame lost last year. Generally speaking, you lose to a team like this as compared to Notre Dame's loss to NIU. They obviously, would count that much worse for Nebraska. Moving on to the next game. Look, this is where we start conference play. This is where it gets good. They play Michigan to open up the conference, and Michigan, despite Michigan fans' opinion, is going to be mid again this year. They may get a win or two under their belt. That's a surprise win, but with all of the controversy and the bad recruiting going, I don't care if they say, our quarterback's going to be the next Peyton Manning. Doesn't matter to me. Or the next Tom Brady. I don't care. Michigan's losing this game to Nebraska. At least I think so. Michigan State has yet to prove that they can bounce back to a good football program again, especially with the NIL deals coming out. Now, you would think Michigan State would be able to recover because they're a really big school. They've got a good program there, but they just aren't winning games after all the off-field controversy that they have had. So Nebraska gets this win, and it is at home, so it should be a good home win. Then Nebraska goes on the road to Maryland. So they get 2 weeks in a row where they're playing programs that are really hurting and in a lot of pain, suffering, via 500 seasons or less. They get the win at Maryland. This is a no-brainer here. Dylan Raiola should be pretty good this year. I would think that he would improve, but it is yet to be determined. But they get the win here at Maryland, and that's great. Then they go on the road to Minnesota. Now, this is a school that's really disappointed me in the last couple years because P.J. Fleck has been there, and we saw P.J. Fleck do great things prior to coming here. But the truth of the matter is that Nebraska is the better team here. Minnesota is going to get the loss, and Nebraska is going to be feeling pretty good with only one loss up to this point. And, if they get past Cincinnati, they could literally be undefeated, barring that they beat Michigan. But I think the last half, and especially playing against a team like Northwestern, who Northwestern is one of the biggest trap teams in all of college football. They have had 10-2 seasons, 9-3 seasons, followed by a 1-11 season, and then the next season go 9-3. So, but this year they should be really good. They've got Preston Stone, the transfer quarterback from SMU, that was amazing, and they've got a number 1 draft pick for D-line. So I think Nebraska's going to lose that game. Then they play USC. I think USC's also going to beat Nebraska. I think that Nebraska has trouble playing mid to higher tier teams. I said it. And Nebraska fans have been complaining. I've got comments, emails, whatever, in the last 8 years about how Nebraska's way better than you're making them to be, but the overall record is always the same. They might win or lose to different teams that I predict, but the overall record is the same. So USC gets the win here. Then they play UCLA. Now, assuming this would be a trap game, right? But I think Nebraska has a better roster. I think Nebraska has a better talent overall than UCLA. Even though there's changes at UCLA, and they did get a win or two last year that was kind of surprising, I still think Nebraska wins this game In what world does Nebraska beat Penn State at Penn State? You tell me. I don't know what else to say about this game. Nebraska fans, tell me why is it different this year than it would be in the last 8 years? Because Penn State's just a dominating team in the Big Ten. They only lose to Ohio State, Michigan, and Oregon. So, and maybe Indiana. But the truth of the matter is, yeah, Nebraska loses this game every year. And then they go play Iowa. Now, this is where Iowa fans love me, Nebraska fans hate me. Iowa gets the win here. Last year's below freezing game really showed me the true Nebraska. Like, if you can't finish a season and beat Iowa, what are you doing? That's my question for Nebraska overall is what are you doing? Are you just playing football to play football, or are you trying to win the Big Ten? You've got a sellout crowd at home. You've got a good coach. You've got good players. What is going on with this program? They just cannot pull through. So you're going to have to prove it to me and prove it to the world before I put you at 8 or 9 wins. To be honest with you, Nebraska should be 10-2, but they can't compete with Penn State. They can't compete with Oregon. They cannot compete with Ohio State. They struggled versus Michigan up until hopefully recently. And really, if you can't get past a few mid teams like Northwestern and Iowa, you're going to have some trouble. So that's my prediction. Until you prove me wrong, I'm going to say 6-6 or 7-5. I've yet to see an 8-4 or 9-3 season from this current Nebraska team. So barring like the first year they were in the Big Ten. So that's my prediction. Is what it is, but I think it's going to be right. So we'll see you next time. We'll see you next team. Hopefully you join us for the deep dive with Jordan from the Inside Sports Podcast. He's the pro. I'm the amateur. I'm the old. He's the young. We'll see you then.